Okay. Welcome, everybody. I think I'm all set up here. Got to do just a little bit of setup and prep. We're here in stormy Nova Scotia, Canada, on a leg of a planned trip from... I started out in New York City, and I'm several legs in, but my plan is to go across the pond, through to England, maybe down through Europe, and who knows, maybe turn it into a circumnavigation of the globe. But for right now, it's a short hop north. We're getting closer and closer because we're going to make the hop over the sea to Greenland eventually. But for right now, here we are in the TBM 900. Let's get out and take a look at her. She's looking pretty good. Did pretty well on my last flight. Nothing to complain about, no problems whatsoever. Frames are doing, and everything like that is doing significantly better with the new X-Plane upgrade, so I'm very happy about that as well. So, right now, I will get back in the cockpit, and we're going to get started doing some of the, just some of the maintenance checks and everything like that to make sure we're good to go. So let's see. There's too many things going on right here. But we can go ahead and check our engine. Looks like everything is good with the engine. Okay, I'm just looking for everything. The turbines, yeah, I think they're fine for right now. Landing gear, let's check it out. Everything good on that as well. And electronics. Okay, I've checked everything out after my last flight, which was actually fairly recently, so I'm not going to spend too much time poring over this, but I just want to check that everything is working as it should. Check my airframe. I'm not connected on VATSIM or any kind of pilot network right now, just flying solo. My goal today is to do this flight and have a good time, but I also want to see if I can follow the checklist as much as possible. So that's going to be something that I'm focusing on and may take up a little bit of my attention. So let's get the payload manager going. We've got about a 350-mile journey today. So we're going to load it up to about 140 gallons. Should be more than enough to get us there. Make sure we close up the tanks. It's pretty cool when you open the tanks. You can see the actual fuel tank opening up over there. Anyway, all right, so our chocks are still on. Our door, let's close our door. And everything else is good to go. We're buttoned up. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to go on GPU power today because I do want to spend a few minutes checking out the MFD. So let's go ahead. We'll keep strobes on and turn our panel on. Let's wait for everything to boot up here before we do anything else. So this is where the frame starts to take a hit. Wow, look at that. So not turning the plane on, it's no problem. Actually turning the plane on, that's when we get kind of low. So hopefully it looks okay on your end. On my end, it's definitely doable. So I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, let's go ahead, hit that okay. Hit the cautions.
Aural warning, okay.
Okay. Doing well on everything there. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. We are CYGR. Let's go put this in Avitat real quick so you can see what I'm seeing a little
Pause
bit.
system test.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Illes de la Madeleine. I don't know how you pronounce it. We're an island here in Nova Scotia. While we're here, let's just check our weather real quick. So we're at 35 feet elevation, so that's what we should be seeing once we've got 3008 in on the barometer. So I'll put it to 3008. Okay. And it's a bad day. Pretty windy. So it might be a little bit of an interesting ride. Yeah. Wind's coming 170 at 17, gusts for 27 knots. So that's pretty significant. 170, I don't know. Well, first off, let's give you guys the bigger picture here. Let's see if we can zoom out just a little bit. Gulf of St. Lawrence. So here's Canada. Like I said, we started around here in New York, and we've been going up through here. Right now, we are right smack here in the middle of this gulf, and the idea is to keep going north, maybe follow the coastline eventually, hitting up a few stops along the way. Eventually, we're going to end up somewhere around here. There's an airport right around here I saw on SkyVector. This isn't today, but this is the eventual goal. We'll end up here or here. We'll cross over to Greenland. That'll be our first stop. From Greenland, we'll probably cross across, and then we'll do a jump to Iceland. And then from Iceland, we're going to go here, probably to Scotland. And then we'll eventually end up down here in London, and then from there, who knows, maybe down through Europe. It might be a little bit interesting to fly, I don't know, some sort of a circuitous southerly route, maybe, through China, Japan, and back up. Anyway, we'll see. But for right now, short flight, we're going to hop across. We're going to land, maybe, if it's in the database, there's like a seaplane base that actually we might not be able to do that, now that I'm thinking of that. We may need to see if we can find something a little bit better. But it's a stream, so we're going to have an adventure. If it doesn't exist, we'll figure something else out once we get there. Right now I want to zoom in, and I'm just taking a look at what our runways are here. We can check our map again. Runway 7, 16, 25, and 34. And wind's at 170, so we should be leaving on runway 16, which I believe is this one going to the south. So let's go ahead and set our heading to 160, just to have it ready to go. Much more difficult to do it this way. There we go, 175, 160. Okay. And for altitude, we're going to go up to 18,000 today because it's not a super long flight. And then we're going to have to deal with the weather. So 18,000 to start, and we'll see what the clouds are like once we get up there. I haven't really checked the weather too much besides what I saw in... I guess I have a layer active in an app that I've got on my actual iPad called Flight Plan to Go. And so I checked the weather a little bit, and it's definitely stormy. So we'll just see how that goes for right now. Okay, we've got our weather radar on standby. Let's go ahead and get our flight plan. This is where we find out if those codes are worth for the price we paid. Now this is where we find out if the airport we're trying to go to actually exists in the database here, or we have to do something different. So we're trying to go to CCB 5. That's what I'm looking at in my paper here. So let's check that out. CCB 5. CCB, oops. Backspace, CCB 5. Does that exist? Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't look like it. Well, that's troubling. Okay, well, in that case, it's back to SkyVector. So let me see if I can take you. Yeah, there we go. So this was the plan originally, CCB 5. Oh, that's interesting. CYYR. So I think CCB 5 is a remnant of Yeah. So let's try that. CYYR. Let's see if that works. I think I did a larger flight plan that included basically all these things as stops. As waypoints. And so this was a waypoint as opposed to an airport. So let's go to CYYR. That's the exact same location. It's just the actual airport. So let's see if we can put that in. Hopefully this actually works. CYYR. Goose Bay, that's what we're looking for. Okay. Nice. Okay, so we're going to leave that. We're just going direct. There's nothing complicated right now. Nothing too crazy for as far as flight plans, because we do want to follow the checklist today. All right, so manual override control is backwards. We're going to just check that. Throttle is on cutoff. Check. Strobes are on. Check that. Aux BP fuel switch to on. Propeller area clear. Starter switch on for 2 seconds. 1,000, 2 1,000. Okay, when NG is above 13 and ITT's under 150, we're going to get a low idle, so we're already there. Get a low idle. Check starter is automatically off. Good. Engine parameters are checked. Okay, source, we can go to battery and disconnect the GPU. Electrical is fine and fine. Volts are a little high. Hopefully that'll do better. Ground team is clear. Okay, we can go to flight idle. Check. Engine parameters are looking good. Aux BP, go to auto. And fuel selector, we're going to go to auto on that one as well. Okay, so now we can go to the next page. Generator selector on main. Check. We don't need to worry about that. AP trims on. Oxygen supply is oxygenating somewhere. Display backup. I actually never checked this, so this is definitely a good reason to have. Go. Yes, display backup is working. Nice. Okay, back to the checklist. Bleed switch. Auto. AC switch. Auto. Pres mode. Auto. Control selector as required. Fine. Temp C selector. Adjust hot airflow distributed. I don't think we need too much of that, but we'll just check that out. Okay, LFE selection. Yeah. Altimeter's checked at 3008. Let's check it one more time. 3005. That's pretty good down low. Lost a little bit of pressure. Okay. De-ice checked. And inertial separator on. Okay. Probably you're going to need that de-ice, especially with all the clouds up there, considering where we are in the world. Passenger briefing. We're taking off on runway 16. We'll do straight after departure to the left. Continue to climb straight out to 18,000. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so passenger or parking brakes off. Okay, check. H brakes, check. Nose wheel steering, don't worry about it. Throttle. Now we'll turn it on. I'm gonna put this into taxi mode. The reversers. There we go. Make sure my prop RPMs are doing okay. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Braking brake on. Oh, I messed this up. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to skip some of these things. Throttle we did not feather. We should be okay on that. Flaps set to takeoff. de-ice system as required. So yes, we are going to. Actually, we're going to wait on that, but we are going to turn repeato heats on. Trims set to take off. There, rudder and aileron should be fine. Some passenger belts are checked. Passenger saber stowed. Strobe switch is on. Cast display is checked. Fuel gauges, quality and symmetry are fine. Flight instruments, altimeter, LFE. Pickup distances, VR. Engine instruments, battery charge. Yeah, so this stuff will probably have to be a little bit better. Battery charge is good. 50 amps. As far as VR and that kind of thing, we're going to rotate probably about 100 knots. But that might be too precise about that this time. Climb speed 124. So now we're at our climb. So let's just wait. Okay, slight mistake there. Alright, so let's go back to here. So we're going to go straight down and then to the left. We're just going to taxi down the runway right now. And I think we still have gear chocks on, so let's take that off. Yes, we do. Okay. Just follow center line. Don't have to worry about other traffic right now. I think it started me in the wrong place because I could have sworn I said X-Plane to start me in that ramp area right there. And I'm definitely not there. So, a little mistake there, but that's okay. Just pretend that it doesn't matter. Okay. So right now in the TBM, it actually has a setting, thrust setting that's below the normal thrust lever. Because if we just had it on the lowest NG power setting, we would actually go too fast. The engine's too powerful. So there's another section that you can do here called taxi, right there in reverser. So what you do is you set it, you click it down one time into this taxi range, and it actually feathers the propellers in a way that you don't just take off as you're trying to taxi because you're going too fast. So you can actually hear, conversely, as I give more power to that taxi setting, airplane gets a little quieter because it's fighting the air less. So, okay. We're going to go up to 30 knots and then brake or then slow down a little bit. That's the recommended taxiing procedure for this plane. So now you'll hear it start to make a little bit of noise. Okay. Yep, that's where we should have started. Oh well. Okay, I should be getting close to... There's nothing marked, but it does look like there may be a little bit of a... Let's see what this looks like here. Oh, this is just the runway. Okay. Alright, so we're going to turn here. This little airport here is literally right here in the middle of the water. Gee, it's gorgeous in real life. I'm not using any ortho right now. This is just X-Plane default scenery. We may get a little bit more fancy as we go along in this flight, but for right now, I gotta be honest, my hard drive is filled up with all the United States ortho scenery that I've got, that I've been employing, so I don't really have too much space to mess around with it. So we'll see. That's too fast. We'll see how serious I get about this journey across the pond, and if it starts to look like something that's more interesting and I get more viewers, maybe I'll install a little bit more scenery. Okay, just getting lined up here. So again, we'll brief. Once we get any problems below 80, we will brake and deal with it on the ground. Above 80, we'll take off, deal with it in the air. Gear comes up as soon as we see that positive rate. wax will come up around 400 feet. We're going to make standard left turn. Because we're going to start going north. So now let's go to our flight plan here. We are ready to go on our departure. GPS is set for CDI, so yeah, eventually we're going to go there. Flaps are set, trims are set. Landing strobes, we'll put navs on as well. Everything else is looking good, I do believe. Let's see our checklist real quick. This is just in the climb. So we're going to climb at 124, try to. We're going to turn the yaw dampener on, and we'll take it off of the landing lights. And then probably, once we make that turn, we'll switch on the autopilot. Okay. Vertical speed. Actually, we're going to do a flight level change once we hit 125. I will hit that nav button. That's going to help us a little bit there. And flight level change we'll do at 124. Okay. We're good for everything. Go. Airspeed's alive. 60 knots. Bumpy. And rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Got a decent amount of wind here. Going to our standard turn here. I'm gonna make sure we're at 124. Laps are coming up. Should help us with our speed. Okay, 124. Flight level change. And autopilot. There we go. Yeah, look at that one. Let's get the antennas. Yeah, we'll set up, build up fairly quickly. And we'll take our pulses on, turn our landing lights off as we climb out to 18,000 feet. And I watch our torque, which is our engine power right here. I should have been saying torque. I was saying engine before I realized I should have been saying torque. The higher we get, the torque setting will go down as the air gets thinner, so it means we can achieve more torque. We can push the engine a little bit farther, but right now we just have to keep an eye on it as we're climbing out of here. Starting to get into IMC. Late IMC. Let's go ahead and turn our weather radar on. Let's see what we're dealing with today. Oh, pretty gross. Turn there. Well, weather radar's not doing too much. I think we're just not in the layer yet. So go back here and let's zoom out just a little bit so you can see what we're eventually going to be dealing with. This is all the way out to about 50 nautical miles, maybe 7.5 right now. Let's just keep an eye on the climb. We got to check our checklist here. Checklist. The climb speed is at the recommended 144 trims. Our adjusted yaw dampeners on. start getting through this layer here, it looks like it's not too bad up above us. So once we get de-icers. Okay. Alright. Once we get through the clouds, we'll turn off the inertial separator. So see how I said that the power setting, the torque is going to go lower as we get higher? I need to throttle up to adjust for that. And it's closer to that optimal torque setting. Okay, we'll leave it at 98 for right now. We're still climbing at 124, but it's okay. Cruise. We'll wait. Okay, so let's come back here. That's at our 50 nautical mile range. Bring it closer. A little bit black on that one. Okay, you can switch to vertical and sort of see what we're dealing with below us. Usually it should show, at the very least it shows the ground. So, yeah, I don't know what's happening there. That's not a button. Or a feeling. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit more. 37. We'll keep it to 20 miles. Okay, passing the 13,000 or 18,000, we can pump our torque up just a little bit more. Just to ease it up. See, now we're ITT in the red, so even though we have more space for the torque, we gotta ease back a little bit. So for right now, we can't turn off the inertial separator. Air temperature is 3 degrees Celsius, or negative 13 degrees Celsius. Closing in on 18,000. Here we'll see an elevation. So as we climb, once we get to cruise, I'm going to start looking up more information about our destination. That's if we can't get some procedures. Learn a little bit more. Torque is in the red now. It's because we turned the inertial separator off. It was a little more powered. That tone was 1,000 to go before landing. Or sorry, before the top of the cruise was just 18,000 feet, which is I think we're okay. Maybe we'll bump it up to 22 just to get over some of those guys that looked a little bit taller. In fact, yeah, let's go ahead and do that right now. 2,000. And this time we won't do a flight load change because we're already picking up speed, so we'll do a vertical sync. A vertical speed. 2,200. Let's see if that's okay. Okay. Throttle is adjusted. Pressurization is checked. I'm still learning about that. I don't really fully know how to adjust that, but we'll just pretend it's checked. Fuel gauges are checked. 61 and 61. Symmetry is good. Gallons per hour 66. Yeah, so we have plenty. We have about double what we need. We have 2 hours of flight time, and AT showing 1 hour and 3 minutes. Add a little extra time probably on that for the wind, but we should be okay. Cruise parameters and engine data. Let's check that. System. That's fine. General. Fuel. Electrical system. Okay. The ice, I don't think we need it right now. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Off de-ice and airframe de-ice. Check. Okay, so next stage is descent, and we're okay for right now. Okay, so what we want to do now is look at CYYR. I'm going to look at it here, and this tablet, but it's not quite good enough, so I'm going to have to go offline a little bit to see some of the procedures. So let's see. Goose Bay, elevation 160. So let's put the ATIS frequency in. It's 128.100. When we get closer, hopefully that should start to hear the ATIS. Turn the volume up. Runways 08, 16, 26, and 24. The only one with ILS is 08. Doesn't say anything about RNAV, so we'll just have to see. Wind is 190 at 4 knots. Broken at 140. Overcast at 220. Fuel at 5,000. Altitude under 2995. Ooh, that's something we did not do. That's strange. I remember not seeing that in the. Didn't set the barometer to standard at 18,000. I forget. Maybe it wasn't on the checklist. Maybe I just assume you're not that much of an amateur. Alright, surface level pressure 143. Okay, so visibility is good. Weather, for the most part, is pretty good actually. Just a little bit overcast, but not too much of a problem. Actually, overcast right around our height once we get there. Possibly some of that cloud as we get there. Hitting a little bit of turbulence right now. Okay, so the other thing that I want to do is we want to look at the approaches to CYYR, because according to this 190 at 4, probably plan on runway 16, but we don't have any of the procedures. As well, we haven't paid for them on Navigraph. So instead, I'm going to take you guys offline here for a second. Let's see if I can make this a little bit better for you to watch. Okay, there we go. So we want to look at CYYR here, Goose Bay. as far as the procedures go. So let's go and see. Let's go back to VR. Let's see what we've got here in our computer. So first off, let's just check all our numbers since we haven't been out of here for a second. We're at Mach 0.481, 206 knots. Ground speed is 318 knots. Estimated time of arrival is 55 minutes. Alright, so our flight plan has us landing in CYWR. Our procedures can let us look at approaches. Yeah, it looks like we've got a decent amount of approaches actually. There's there's ILS on runway 08, there's a Y and a Z. There's not a GPS. Well, that's a shame. There's not a GPS for runway 16. RMP, I don't know what that is, I gotta be honest. So unfortunately, if we want some kind of assistance, we cannot do it to 16. Interesting. Considering how stormy it was, I'm not extremely comfortable with no kind of navigational. 4 knots at 190. I mean, I almost feel like I can do a crosswind on runway 08 and do the ILS. Go ahead and load that in. We'll set minimums, even though so bare minimums, even though it doesn't matter because we don't have an alternate. We'll set it to 450 because I think landing. Airport height was 160, so about 300 feet above ground level. I don't really know at what point I should activate, nor do I really know. Okay, 3100, and see if no, there's nothing preventing me from just activating that. So let's go ahead and just do that. Okay. Top of descent is 3722, and we're going to descend to 3100. So my altitude selector, I'm going to put it down to. I don't know if this is necessary for VNav, but it's kind of the same procedure you use in the Ziba, so that's what I'm going off of. But maybe I don't need to take this altitude down as much as I am, or at all actually, because then the red, that magenta 3100 is the actual altitude that I want to go to. But anyway, we'll just do this anyway. We will hit VNav, so once we get to top of descent, 36 minutes, that's what we've got a nice calm glide path, 2.5 degree. So, okay, we're good on that. Let's check our checklist one more time. That's for our descent. Don't have to worry about any of those things. Turn. Yeah, so we've got about half an hour to kill here. Everything else is looking good. We do have some turbulence, but nothing too bad, so That was a terrible, terrible idea. I just wanted to do that. There we go. Well, let's see if I can sit down here and see what it looks like. Let's see if we can do it this way. There we go. There we go. Much better. So here's our pull the tray table out. Play our game of cards with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. I don't really care too much for this reflection. That doesn't seem too accurate. But everything else is pretty cool. These guys work nicely. They can go up and down. Protection from the sun. Block out everything. Really get a sense, for the size of this plane from back here. For some reason, I don't know why, but when I'm flying it, it feels like it's so much larger in the back. I think it's because it's it's more powerful and definitely is objectively larger than a Cessna, 172 or something. But definitely interesting. So, go back here. We've got some land down to our lower left. I'm not really seeing anything down there. Nothing super apparent through this cloud layer, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and check the weather. Get there somewhere. There we go. There's our weather radar. Seeing too much. I guess we can change the bearing. Which what the watch does. We can change the gain. I'm not gonna mess with any of that right now. On the vertical picture. That's really strange. I wonder if there's something that isn't quite working with this. At the very least, we should be seeing sort of like an image of the land because it goes down 60,000 feet below us. There's nothing that's showing up as land, so I'm not quite sure what's happening. Road, weather, ground, yeah. Weird. Let's see some trains, bikes riding on. Yeah. Oh, that's a mistake. Alright. Unfortunately, I didn't think this through ahead of time, and not only do I not have ortho scenery, I don't have any scenery for this area, so I'm going to have to fix that for next time. So apologies in advance, but it'll be from here on out probably just ocean until we get to the airport. But it should make things a little bit interesting, and we've got enough cloud cover that I don't think it's really going to matter all that much for this flight today. So, yeah, overall pretty good. Let's see where we are sort of overall in our destination here today. I believe our landing spot is somewhere in here. We've got 45 minutes or so till we land. And according to flight plan, we have about 30 minutes until we're going to start descending. Yeah, so my idea, honestly, right now, it's still limited just to going across the Atlantic. I haven't done that before in this plane. I haven't done anything smaller than the 737, so and I shouldn't have been doing it in the 737, but I stretched it and faked it a little bit. but I think definitely very fun. Stop here, maybe stop somewhere here, halfway there, or somewhere here, and then just jump over. I think Internet's Great Circles was the best place to cross over, but I feel like whether it's here or here doesn't make too much of a difference. Cross over here, we'll hit Greenland. Cross over Greenland, make another quick stop, refuel, rest, then make the jump over to Iceland. And from Iceland here, we'll probably go to Scotland first. Wouldn't mind going into like one of the bigger cities in Scotland if possible, like Edinburgh, Glasgow. And then from there, maybe we'll make a shorter flight, just because I like Manchester United. We'll go to Manchester, then we'll go to London. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of areas. I feel like if I'm going to download some scenery, Amsterdam would be pretty cool. All the Low Country, Holland, and everything like that would be pretty awesome to see. And of course, as you get into these mountains here, and of course the Alps, well, that would be amazing. So that's one possibility, getting the Alps and everything. The other possibility is maybe we go straight down at this stage and do like a North Africa tour. That's not something we do every day. Go through Northern Africa, and then maybe up through sort of Middle East, fly over some places that maybe are a little bit rougher to fly over in real life, but might be fun scenery. We could go up this way from London, or instead of the northern Middle East area, go down this way, Persian Gulf, go across to India, and from India through Southeast Asia up through China. That's pretty nice too. This would be, I feel like all of this, like Indonesia, would be a lot of fun to fly through. Lots of cool islands to go to. Of course, China, I'm sure, is beautiful, and Japan, all this area, Korea, parts of Russia. I think probably the eventual goal will come up Russia. A little chop there. Eventual goals will come up Russia, and we'll come here, go through here through Alaska. And I've done sort of Midwest to Alaska. I think it'd be kind of fun to go from Alaska. Maybe we'll swing down through the south and back up to New York. And that would be kind of a cool flight. And again, we could even extend it even longer and go all the way down, go through Latin America, come back up, and then go back up. I don't know. Who knows? Or maybe we do this, go to Africa, and then come back to where we started. Lots of decisions to make. I think I may not do TBM the whole way, especially if I want a little bit of variety. I'll supplant it with a few different type of planes, but I think the overall idea, if I decide to go past the London portion, will be just segmenting these off into different trips across the world. So yeah, that'd be fun. So yeah, we're at 40 minutes to landing. Let's go ahead and close this out. Minimize that. Take another look here. About 27 minutes to the top of the descent. Everything else looking fairly good. I'm going to go ahead and just go AFK for 1 second. to see if I could do a little bit of research on the airport that we're flying into. This is Goose Bay Airport. So let's take a look here at Google Maps. Let's see what we see if we can flash our view here into Goose Bay. Get that satellite view. CFB Goose Bay, so it's Canadian Forces Base. Interesting. Very cool. So it's used in the Cold War, it looks like. Used in the Gulf War. Used in missile defense. So Air Canada goes through here, Canada Express. There's a smaller terminal structure. I guess we're flying right into the Air Force Base. Robbins Airport Cafe Gifts. Maybe it's not just. Maybe this is okay. I'm sorry. This is CFB Goose Bay, but this is the airport that we're going into. But maybe this is also. I can't tell if this is just military or if this is. It's right next to us. See if we can get some pictures of it. Looks cold. Definitely looks cold. Looks like someone else has done this as a leg on a flight sim. That looks like leg 6 of some flight, probably doing the same thing. There's an Air Canada flight. Yeah, definitely looks chilly. Same thing. So this is kind of the same idea of what we're doing. I think we're going to go a little bit farther north because I'm not quite sure. Considering crossing this road where it goes back. That's kind of an idea. There's some. Definitely some interesting sights out there for sure. And imagine with the new Microsoft Flight Simulator, a ton of beautiful scenery that's going to start popping up for places like this. So yeah, this is our destination, Goose Bay. I kind of want to see better map view. So this is where we're landing. Let's go back in here and see how our flight's doing. Okay, so we're getting a little bit closer to land. Looks like there's some sort of low-lying marsh type of area. I don't know what you would call that, sort of less than far north. Looks like marsh, but maybe it's permafrost. I don't know. Set that to yeah, this is the part of the flight. There's not too much to do actually, so sort of wait here. This is when the longer flights are a little bit. Can be a little bit tedious, especially without any kind of chatter or anything like that going on. But it's also gives you a little bit of time to pause, reflect, and look outside the window. So 2100. I will confess, my approaches have not been recently. I'll explain. I don't know why. I feel like I'm hitting the approach button at the right time. But it sort of varies whether I'm doing a GPS or an ILS. I think I'm doing something wrong maybe on the ILS side of things. But in any case, we'll try our best to get it right. We are doing, what did we say? We were doing the runway 8 landing, so 080. There we go. And we want to be at 3100 at CFO8Y. And then VOD to go, and then runway 08. 20 minutes to top of descent. Let's go ahead and check the weather one more time. Nothing. Just restart that entirely and see if it does anything. Pulses. Don't necessarily need as much of this right now. I want to see what the nearest airport is. 5.5 hours. There's a very small runway. The next larger runway looks like it's 21 miles here right now. So, yeah, kind of a no man's land here. Yeah, I don't know what that's. I don't know what's causing that. Alright. The rest of these things are for traffic, but we are just operating by ourselves right now. There's not even any AI traffic, so we're not worried about that. We can declutter if we want, but it's not really need to. There's no chart. That's for CYG. There's no chart for single right now. Okay. To be expected. I do think that there's some kind of deal with the TBM that you have to pay for other charts or have some sort of subscription to other charts to get outside the United States. I don't think it's quite as seamless, but I'll have to look more into it to see what we can get. But in the meantime, I think we're doing just fine here. Just checking offline to see if I can get a little bit more information on this airport. Just for some of the routes and procedures here, but too much. Runway 08. Yeah, so 194 is still not the best. I'd rather land at 16, but I want at the very least to see what the weather is like. I might turn around once I get down there if the weather's fine and go ahead one way and land on runway 16, but I do have that capture programmed into the float plane right now. Oops. So this is for the Alice 08Y. So in about 15 minutes we'll start the descent down to 3,100 feet. Not too much to see in real life down there, but we are over land of a sort. Closest airport is about 25 nautical miles. So we do have a distant flight. Kind of in the middle of nowhere right now, but that's okay. Thing with the VR, sometimes it's a little bit tight to adjust. That's probably why you see some of this moving the goggles up and down. I'm trying to minimize it as much as I can, but eventually, every now and then I do have to adjust a little bit. Clarity-wise, not bad. Definitely good if I zoom in, and obviously you can see all the numbers fairly well. Look at that outside air temperature, negative 27 Celsius. If I zoom out, it's tougher. I can see the bigger numbers, and I think that's good enough for me. I can see my speed and my altitude, and for the most part I can see my heading. But it's a little bit tougher to read. My fuel quantity, for example, volts, I can't read unless I zoom in there, and different things on the map and stuff like that. So it would be nicer if it's a little bit clearer. I hear that with the Rift S, and I'm assuming the index, the clarity is a lot better, especially for some of these texts. But it's doable. I'm keeping stable 22.5 frames per second, which isn't great, but with the Vulkan update, it's definitely better than it used to be. So I'm happy about that. And overall, love the plane. The plane is fantastic. It's the most detailed VR plane and X-plane, and I'm sure one of the most detailed just in general. So worth every penny of the price tag. Definitely expensive, but in my mind at least it was worth it. But aside from that, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Microsoft Flight Simulator as that comes out. What happens with X-plane. I think already they're starting to try to do some things to up their game. I'm not quite sure what their longer term plans are as far as new versions of their sim, but it's exciting to see, and I'm glad that competition is there, so hopefully we'll see some nice things as a consumer. I'll get some nice benefits from it. I think Microsoft Flight Simulator, man, it's going to be amazing. Pretty confident. I have my fingers crossed that they have some sort of VR implementation. I'd be surprised if there's nothing ever. Whether or not there's something available at launch, that's more doubtful. But I'm sure they'll do something at some point. And I also have faith that the flight sim community is interested enough that even if there's nothing official right away, there'll be some sort of a mod or a third-party add-on that'll help with that. So. Well, that was interesting. We lost our cloud layer completely. I guess we had a little weather update. But unfortunately for that, for us, what that's done is sort of reveal... Oh, there we go. It's building up again. So never mind. But you can see briefly my lack of textures. my lack of scenery that I neglected to install. But well, we'll deal with that, and we'll get that installed for subsequent flights for this area here. It's not very often that I fly around northern Canada, northeastern Canada, so I didn't even think to check to see if I had that scenery installed beforehand. In the meantime...
Oh, God!
In the meantime... In the meantime, let's do one more check at our flight plan. We're at 10 minutes to go before our top of descent. We're at like I said, a 2.5 degree down angle, which translates to about 1360 feet per minute down. We could probably comfortably do about 2,000, but I want to do a little bit of a more measured approach here, especially with this cloud cover coming up. So now I feel like I think that's more terrain that I'm looking at. I don't think that's the topological, I don't think that's NextRad. This yellow color is what I'm talking about. And the weather radar is still just as useless as it has been. But I guess that's fine. Maybe that just means there's no precipitation, so that's a good thing. I hope. Nearest to airports. Good alert there. Nav data's out of date. Not sure what my nearest is wrong, if we're just too far away from anything. I'm kind of curious about that, actually. There's not too much I can do. There we go. Yeah, nearest airport's nothing. Let's change here. Nearest airports, nearest NDBs. There's a VOR about 66 nautical miles away. That's not right. So I'm just wondering if we're maybe running into a limitation here with my charts on the TBM. I can't get visual information out of it. But we do have information about our waypoint. 128.1. Goose Bay, Newfoundland. 160 feet. And we're getting close. Alright, let's go ahead and go back here. I feel like we're giving it some issues, taking a little bit of time to load up there. 8 minutes to top of descent. Let's check our checklist. We're going to check our altimeters once you pass 18,000. Our de-ice as required. I think we are going to require it here with these clouds that we're about to descend out of. Windshield misting protection. We'll turn that on too. I don't see. It depends on the precipitation, but if we do get heavy, it's telling us to turn the inertial separator on, so we can do that. Passenger briefing. Just put your seatbelts on. Seatbelts and harnesses, make sure they're locked and fastened. Passenger's table, that's what we were messing around with before, that's stowed. Fine. You can see our oxygen mask up there for the pilot and the pilot. And I believe this is an oxygen settings here if we need it, but we should be fine. Let's turn our panel lights up just a little bit more. And we'll turn our pulses back on for going through the clouds. Emergencies, engine fire, in-flight. So there's a whole list of checklists that we can do here. In case we do have an emergency in flight. I really haven't prepped any of these at all. I know some people really enjoy being, from a sim perspective, enjoy learning about all this stuff, or from a real life perspective, enjoy need to learn all this stuff. Landing gear retraction discrepancy. Yeah, maybe at some point I'll get that serious, but for right now, I'm just concentrating on learning what I can. I think my next level of getting into the flight sim world is to learn a little bit more about flying with other people, getting on VATSIM, and following the procedures there, and trying to do my best to learn those rules. So that's probably my next challenge. Yeah, unfortunately, there you can see with the weather refresh, you don't really see any ground features. So again, sorry about that, but we'll get that fixed out for the next time. The weather's on I think it's on a 15-minute refresh cycle, if I'm not wrong. And there's a plugin that I use, a NOAA weather plugin, that lets you follow sort of a NOAA weather or a VATSIM weather system, and you set X-Plane in the settings for your flight, set it up to follow manually configured real-time weather. Then you got that plugin that interface with that pretty nicely. So it is real weather. It's not as well modeled as I've seen other people's setup, so I don't know if it's a setting that I haven't toggled or I did toggle and it doesn't quite work the way it should. Like I have seen videos where people fly the TBM where there's just beautiful rain effects off of the windshield and along the side, but for me, usually the rain doesn't do too much besides just show up as sort of like streaking light speed particles in front of me. But cloud coverage, winds, that kind of thing, seems like it's fairly spot on. So yeah. About 4 minutes. I think in about 1 minute to go, it'll let us know. It'll give us some sort of a audio warning that we're about to hit our top of descent, which means we're about to start descending. And I'm going to leave it on VNAV, which I think is the right thing to do, and it should start descending automatically. If that doesn't happen, I'll take over fairly quickly and hit that vertical speed and just do it a little bit more manually. But I'd like to see if I can, at the very least, get the autopilot procedures right, because, well, that's good to know. So, yeah, 4 minutes before that starts. Looks like we'll be descending through those clouds right in front of us there. Should be interesting. It's a little bit more intense right directly in front of us. Feels like we're almost not in the eye, but sort of, well, maybe a little bit in the eye. A little bit of accumulation here, but I'm not too concerned. I don't think the overall weather that I looked at before I started this flight had anything too crazy. The weather radar is not showing up anything, which, like you said before, could either mean that I messed something up and it's not working, or that there's nothing to be worried about. So either a lot to be worried about or nothing to be worried about, which is, I guess, maybe a good metaphor for who knows what for life. Messed around with these air controls before. I feel like it probably doesn't do that much. So we're going about 209. I'm going to look to maintain that speed as we descend. And then descend to 3100, and we'll start slowing down. And I think our initial approach speed is going to be probably 140, 120 knots, and our final approach speed will, of course, go lower than that and follow the checklist. But for the descent, our altimeter, we're not going to change anything right now, but I do want to have, CYYR weather refreshed and ready to go. According to this, shift into 180. So it'll be like a decent southern cross.
Vertical track.
There's our vertical track. So let's go ahead and see if this picks up as it should. Top of descent within 1 minute. When the V deviation reaches 1300, that's when we're starting to go down. I'm hoping that's what that means. Just count down 20 more seconds. About to descend through that cloud layer. Hopefully we don't freeze and fall out of the sky. Sorry about that. I guess when it reaches 0, not 1300. Okay, so here's the test. Are we descending? We are definitely not descending. Oh, that's too bad. Okay. What happens if we do this? Nothing. Well, that's a shame. Okay. So in that case, we're gonna have to do it this way. And we need to get about 1400. Do 1400. And we'll keep it to 210 knots. We'll just do this all manually. Yeah, I don't quite know what didn't work on that one. If anybody watches this has any suggestions or know what I did wrong, please don't hesitate to let me know. I guess I could do flight level change. Maybe that's part of what we need to do, but I could have sworn just hitting that VNAV button would get us there. Apparently not. Alright, so we are descending at 210. Get a little bit closer to these clouds now. On our way into Goose Bay. We'll be cognizant at 18,000 feet. We're going to switch. We are on standard at 2992 here, and we're technically at standard here, but I'd like to actually dial it into 2992 for standard altimeter barometric settings, because in case we need to make any fine-tune adjustments, I'd rather have it closer to the actual thing than have to worry about that when we're closer in. Let's go to our checklist here. So that's just talked about the altimeters, de-ice. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn them on right now. There we go. So you can see them right there. And just turn it off. And we'll do prop de-ice as well. That was interesting. Not quite sure what happened there. We're going a little bit too fast, so we're going to drop that torque down just a little bit. Check that. Windshield misting. Yeah, let's turn that on. We don't really have anything to worry about right this second, but we'll go ahead and do that. Fuel gauges, check. 30 and 30. So, yeah, we're starting to run a little bit low on fuel. Definitely don't want to be spending too much time looking for an alternate. Fullest tank, I'm not going to select. I'm going to just keep it right there on the automatic selection. Passenger briefing. Put on your seatbelts. We're going to land. Oops. Passenger table is stowed, and let's go to the next one for our approach. Okay, so we're not ready yet for this guy. This did not work at all, so I'm not going to rely on it at all. We'll just turn this weather radar off. Range is 25 nautical miles, so we'll leave that there. Flight plan. We're a little bit more. We're going down a little bit faster than the flight plan that VNAV is calling for, but I'm okay with that, especially since we're doing it manually and we're a little bit faster than we should be. So we're going to do 210, we're about 218, so going down on the throttle a little bit, but I'm okay with a little bit of a little bit faster. So 100%, 10 minutes. We should be pretty much in our approach. Once we get to bottom of descent, we'll have a little bit of a turn. We're going to leave everything there on. That's fine. Let's take a larger look here at where we are. Coming in for a landing in Goose Bay, somewhere around this general area. And doing pretty well now. So about 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes. Doing a little bit better on our landing, on our speed, about 212. Doing just fine on our descent rate. 45 nautical miles till we get to CFO8. That's pretty short. We'll be on short final pretty much when we get there. Just a little bit after we get there. So we got CFO8Y, then Bodgo, and then we land. We'll do full flap landing today. Let's see the runway is pretty long. So we'll put the ILS in there as well. I'll often mess with this. But it's nice to have. So 1.3. Usually the autopilot does it automatically. So that's why it was actually set to 1.3. That's the ILS frequency. But I'm gonna just tune it in on all of them just to see. I don't even know why, but that'll be helpful. If we tune it on both of them on the Zebo on the 737.
Goose Bay information, Victor.
Oh, there's our ATIS.
1200 Zulu weather. Wind 260 at 36. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 6,900 scattered, 11,000 overcast, temperature 14, dew point -7. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runway 26, departing runway 26.
Wow.
Advise on initial contact. You have Victor.
So the last minute change there. Runway 26 is what we want, so let's go ahead and put that in. Don't know what we're going to do with that, but we're going to do a RNAV 26. And we're going to do vectors, I think. Yeah, I really don't know what else we can do. Keep the same minimums. And we'll activate it. So up there, we want to be at 1,900 feet. This is strange. No, we don't want to. What the heck? Oh, nice. And we're in IMC. Well, that's what a last minute change will do to you. So, okay, let's see what we can do here. Let's go ahead and direct to Very strange. Okay. Well, that threw everything off, but now we're going back to Bear. Turning back around. We want to be at 1900 by the time we get there, so we have a top of descent. In 6 minutes, but let's go ahead and just keep descending so we can get out of these clouds. We'll do it a little bit slower, or a little bit less of an angle. Definitely in hard IMC right now. Can't really tell if we're icing up, but no wind so far, so I'm not going to mess with the inertial separator. That was strange. Alright. Now we're getting out of the layer. Oh, okay. There's the ocean. That should be land, if not for our mistake. But at least the airport should still be here. That's all we care about right now. Okay, let's hold. Top of descent is 1 minute. No, we're just going to keep going. We'll hold at 5,000 if we need to. Okay, getting back on the magenta line, which is our GPS track, to Bajor. Then to Datka and runway 26. We'll hold off at 5,000 before descending to 1,900. And we pretty much just keep that altitude until we hit the line slope at runway 26. Runway 26. All of that information is out the window as far as our ILS. We do know we have 8 if we want to do a turnaround and follow the ILS back in. So I think, what is that, the reciprocal of 8 is 26. So we'll go ahead and change our heading. 260. It's just the opposite path. So maybe it is the same frequency anyway for the nav radio. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going into Bajor. We'll hit 1900 there. Circle around to Atku, and then we're just landing. So it's going to be a pretty quick landing. If we hit a problem, we need to do the go around. We're going to do a circle here, and then we'll do the ILS and runway 08, even if it is with the wind. Should be fun. Getting close to 5,000 feet. Hold there until we get another top of descent indicator. Then we'll follow that. We're a little bit fast, but that's okay. The nice thing about forgetting the scenery is the airport should be pretty easy to spot, considering it's just all ocean around us everywhere. We'll see how it works out. Hopefully it exists. If not, it'll be a unfortunate end to a relatively fun flight, and I'll have to give you guys a rain check for a better landing. Oh, I missed that. I was not paying attention. And so we'll call it 4,500. Boost the speed just a little bit. A little bit too much there. We have a nice tailwind. vertical track at 6 more minutes to descend to 1900, where we will make a left turn. Pretty much 180. And come back in. Go ahead and turn off our de-icing. I don't think we need any of that stuff anymore. So your checklist. Checklists are approach altimeters. We're going to check one more time with the ADAS. Fuel gauges. This didn't do too bad. We still have plenty. Then we had to change approaches. We are not going to select the fullest tank, but we are going to turn the inertial separators on, and we are going to turn the landing lights on. Looks like there should be land out there in the distance if I zoom in. I don't know if that's real or if that's just, I don't think that's real. We should be getting close to at the very least, we should be getting close to the airport here. So that should be good. Again, just coming in, we're going to hit Major, we're going to turn around, make to 180, hit Datka, and then we're going to land here at runway 26. We're on the RNAV right now. We were planning the ILX for runway 08, which is the same, the opposite end of that same runway. But right now, we just listened to the ATIS. And they said the active runway was 26. We can actually listen to it one more time.
Goose Bay information Victor. 1200 Zulu weather. Wind 230 at 18. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 6,900 scattered, 11,000 overcast, temperature 2, dew point -16. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runway 26, departing runway 26. Advise on initial contact. You have Victor.
So yeah, Victor, information Victor. Yeah, it's crazy because there must be some discrepancy between whatever weather plugin I'm using and what's showing up here on my tablet. My tablet's saying wind is at 180 at 7 knots. And you heard it was like when it was at like
Goose Bay information Victor. 1200 Zulu weather. Wind 230 at 18. Visibility more than 10.
So it's obviously very different. But in any case, that's fine. I think we had enough time to make an adjustment, and hopefully it should be a relatively simple one at that. And hopefully without the scenery installed, we actually see an airport, which might be that right down there. I don't know. But in any case, it's been fairly fun so far. If you're just joining us, thank you very much for joining and watching along. The idea that we're doing right now is one leg on a across the pond trip. Right now we're in Newfoundland, Canada. We're probably going to either fly at another installment of this. We're going to fly from either here to Greenland or go a little bit more north and make the hop over to Greenland. From Greenland we're going to go to Iceland. From Iceland we're going to go down to Scotland and then finally in London. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe after we do that, after we complete that, we'll keep going and figure out some other sort of flight plan for a bunch of hops that'll take us all the way around and back to North America. So thanks for joining. We should be done fairly soon with this landing, one way or the other. It looks like the runway does exist out there in the middle of the ocean. So we'll just have to stretch the imagination just a little bit and pretend that there's land underneath us, which there should be in real life, as you can see. This map, there's a nice little river going down there, some little rivers and lakes and that kind of thing. In X-Plane at the moment, no scenery, but that will be remedied for the next flight for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and check our flight plan. About to hit 1 minute warning to top of descent to 1,900 feet. Let's go ahead and descend to 1,900. I'm not quite sure. Last time we tried this with the VNav, it did not descend on its own. So
vertical track.
if it doesn't this time, we're going to quickly take manual control, or relatively manual control. We're going to use the vertical speed. We're going to set it to about 1,100 feet per minute going down, and we'll adjust our lateral speed, our knots that we're going at, to stay at 210, which we will hold until we get to the Beijing waypoint. Once we get to Beijing, we'll probably slow it down substantially. Okay, so 20 seconds. We'll see if it actually. There's a glide path. We'll see if it actually activates. I don't know what else to put. If anybody has any ideas, something I'm doing wrong, please feel free to let me know in the comments in the chat room. And this is the time that I would expect us to be going down, ascending, but we are not. So, like I said, we'll hit vertical speed. We'll go down to 1,100. I'm just going to go ahead now and put this checklist, descent, altimeter, we checked that, 2992, gauges checked, inertial separator goes on, landing lights are on, landing gear, flaps, and autopilot disconnected 200 feet, above 200 feet, yaw dampener will come off with the autopilot. Okay, so we're about ready. All we have left is the turn at Beijing. A little bit of speed management. See if we can capture the approach once we get to Datka. And if not, we'll just eyeball it, and I think we'll be fine on that too. Hopefully. Let's see, are we gonna make it? That's our top. That's our inertial separator. We're gonna go down a little bit faster. Just a little bit nervous. We're not going to make it in time, so we'll do 1,300 and just have some nice flight over the water. And then a little bit of a wide turn to the left as we circle around. Landing altitude is, I think it's 160. 160 feet is the elevation. We have our minimum set to 400. Obviously, doesn't look like it's going to be necessary anyway. Pretty clear visibility, and everything should be good to go. Just checking the systems one last time. We're at 49 on the torque percentage right there. Try to maintain 210 as we get closer to our altitude. I'm actually going to leave this torque setting here so we can slow down. So leaving it at 49, but in level flight. Yeah, that was pretty good timing actually. We're going to start to just slow it down, slow her down. I'll probably bring her to 40. See the airport yet? Not yet. Still going a little bit on the fast side, but I think we're relatively okay. You can see the glide slope here. So this will be our lateral track, and here's our vertical track. When this gets to the middle, we're going to want to start descending to keep that little ball in the middle. We're going to want this to be in the middle here. The computers are going to do this. We could do this manually if we wanted, but the autopilot's doing it right now without too much of a problem. We're going to hit that approach button when we get to Datka, this waypoint right there. Or if the glide slope centers before that, which I don't think it will. We're pretty low. Should be able to see the airport out there in the distance. Let's declutter a little bit. I don't care about any of this stuff for right now. Here's our before landing checklist. Landing gear. Not yet. So none of the stuff right now. Ready for landing. I do want to slow down just a little bit more. Actually, I might go ahead and put a notch of flaps in. Yeah, put one notch of flaps in to help us slow down. And once we get on track here on this course, I'm going to hit the approach button, which should take us. Wrong plane. Approach button is here on this plane. That should keep us on the glide slope as we come down to the runway that is lit right down there. Landing gear is on. We're slowing down quite nicely. Let's go ahead and put another notch of flaps in.
Landing gear. Landing
and we'll go ahead and put our landing gear down.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
So that combination of landing gear and flaps really changed our angle of attack. Not for the better. So hopefully the plan will correct it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to take over. I think I may have done that a little bit incorrectly, unfortunately, but it's okay. What I am going to do is go to manual, and we're going to land it just by sight. I probably could have waited on the last notch of flaps and landing gear until I was much, much closer. I feel like that's a fair thing to say. The nice thing is I do have a little bit, if I look at my computer there, those magenta boxes are guiding me into a nice landing. They don't quite correspond to the PAPI lights on the runway, but it is giving me a nice little track there to follow. I'm not following, of course. Landing gear 3 green, flaps are full, down. Fix our trim a little bit. Slow on the landing, I think. I have to probably look at the references again for this plane. I jumped so much between this, the 172, and a Bonanza that doing it by feel is not really working out for me that well, unfortunately. So we'll just
Minimum.
There's our minimums. Continue. And a little bit high.
Airspeed.
floater there. The reversers. Oh, and we missed that one. That's okay. Okay, pretty good. Now let's go ahead and put it into taxi mode. Put our flaps back up. Let's get our trims back together, back to normal. Trims coming down. We'll catch the next turn off. Oops, trim's coming down too much. Go. Rudder trim, good. Okay, so we want to go ahead and see what our checklist tells us. Check, 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 check. De-ice. You know what? Let's just wait till we get off here, so we don't miss it. So here we are in Goose Bay, minus, you know, every part of land that you could possibly see. But at least we've got the airport. At least we landed. And like I said, I promise I will have scenery actually installed for the landing next time. But we can go ahead and, well, avoid that ocean. That shouldn't be there. And we're just going to pull straight. We're going to go to that big guy right there. Okay. Let's see our checklist. Airframe de-icing is off. Commercial separator is off. Heaters are off. Bleed air is off. Radar's off. Transponder. Oops, I didn't want to hit our dent. I'll put it on standby. Oh, going too fast there. Okay. Definitely going faster than you would want to deal with a multi-million-dollar airplane in real life, but, you know, not real life. Go ahead and turn on the parking brake, and let's get through the rest of our checklist, and we'll call it a day. Strobe switch off, and we'll just go ahead and turn everything off there. Taxis, okay, that's not right, but that's fine. Trims are in the takeoff position, great. Let's go to the next checklist. Parking brake just is on. Bleed is off. AC switch is off. Throttle, flight idle for 2 minutes. Taxi light is off. AP trims off. And I'm not going to wait for the full 2 minutes, but you can't open the door here. Yeah, so that turned out pretty nicely. We did, we landed here at Goose Bay. We're way up here to the north. And I think probably tune in tomorrow, the next time I'm on. And we'll make the decision whether or not to make the hop to Greenland or do another short hop before we make the hop over. In any case, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys like it, be sure to subscribe. Feel free to check out my YouTube channel. It's got, you search for fearfreeflight on YouTube. It's the same name. I do a combination of videos that are about dealing with my fear of flying through sims, which I haven't really talked about today, but I have a whole set of videos about that. And I also have videos of my streams, like this one today, and sort of music video compilations that I do, just different types of flights that I do, and I edit them all together, send it to some music. So some interesting stuff there. If you guys are interested, feel free head on down there and check it out. But yeah, like I said, tune in. Feel free to tune in whenever. Feel free to drop me a line here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, all the different areas. feel free to drop me a line and request a flight. You know, if you have an idea of a cool flight or a cool scenario, I'm happy to oblige. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask. All right, let's go ahead and turn the throttle off. Check that off the checklist. Inertial separator is off. All switches for the exterior lights panel are off. Interior lights panel. Okay, yes. Rear light switch, they're all off. We'll go ahead and turn that one off as well. Fuel aux BP. Let's turn that off. Fuel selector switch is off. It's going super by the book. Oxygen switch, I don't know what that is, but say it's off. Parking brake is off. I didn't actually put the chocks in place, but we'll go ahead and do that. Check that, and that's it. All right, so the only thing left to do is let's go ahead and shut down all the power, and let's do a quick maintenance check. Let's see how we did. And while I do that, why don't I just step outside so you guys can see the plane a little bit. Looking pretty good. Now let's do our quick maintenance check here. Engine, everything is as new condition or good, which is the same as when we took off. Oil quality is good. Everything fine there. Landing gear. So watch this, when I hit access, it's going to put it up on stilts there. Look at that. Pretty cool. Landing gear as new, good. That was like that last time, both good. Right brake pad got a little bit more wore down, but that's to be expected. Access for the electronics as new on everything. Looks good. Avionics. This is interesting. Actually, you know, the weather radar is listing as new, so I don't know what the deal was. Maybe it was it's definitely not a mechanical thing. So we'll have to see. Just cool looking at all the different components here. How much does it cost, for example, to replace this? $24,000. The lights, we're doing good on all the lights. Cool thing with the lights is, in a second, I'll show you, you can actually see the individual LEDs on the lights. It's kind of nerdy little detail. Airframe, everything is looking good and as new. And miscellaneous oxygen is all good. I don't know, I feel like we should refill it. Let's go ahead and refill it. Doesn't show you the full status, but I feel like that's a good idea. Okay, so what did I want to, oh yeah, let me show you the LEDs. You can see those individually modeled, pretty cool. The other thing I want to do is go ahead and toggle, oops, okay, this is not working, so I'll just do it. I'll do it the easy way. I'm going to put down all my chocks are down, but let's put all my covers and tie downs. 17 gallons left in each. We started with 70 in each, so definitely used quite a bit of fuel. And as you can see, if I look at it, you can see they dynamically sort of appear there. So we're all buttoned up. Let's close the door. And we're good to go. Goose Bay. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Like I said, please feel free to follow me here. Follow me on YouTube. Check out some of the videos I've got, some of the content I've got on YouTube. And keep an eye excuse me, keep an eye out. I'll be back to continue this this journey across the pond and potentially throughout the rest of the world. So thanks a lot.